If you are hot and bothered by the brand new Space Marines, me too. It's okay, don't be embarrassed. If you absolutely crave Warhammer content, there's a fantastic channel. It's called Mid-Table Tactics. They do live stream battle reports, and they're all top quality, very strong. The players are great. The banter is great. I've played on it a few times myself, so go and check out those games. I've linked them down in the description below. It's great to have on while you're painting. If you're just hanging around one night, it's a great way to spend some YouTube time. Hey everybody, this is Space Marine Steve, and I'm from Play on Tabletop, as some of you may know me from there. I'm also from here at Hyperspace Hobbies, and here at Hyperspace Hobbies, we love to talk games, play games. So many games, so little time. Okay, so today, they just released the 10th edition datasheet pack for Space Marines. And today on Master the Chapter, we are going to just start to dip our toes into this wealth of knowledge that has been presented to us. And it really is just a dip, because there's so much to go through and so many data sheets to really talk about, that what I can't do is I can't make one 5-hour video where I go through all of them. That's ridiculous. No one's going to watch that. And even though I'd love to make that, we're not going to make that. So the topic of today's video, let's go over 3 kind of 1-2 punch combos. I think, and I guess I could be wrong here, but I think 10th edition is really going to come down to army list construction kind of overall. But then on top of that, how you pair all your units together, how they synergize, and in particular, what units you attach to other units. So important that you get those pairings right, because depending on how you do it, really dictates what each unit is actually capable of throughout the game. Choice number 1 is fairly straightforward, but also a little on the low-key side, and I think it's one of my more favorite pairings right now, just because it is really interesting. 1, I love Phobos Marines, and so this is perfect. And 2 is a really good force multiplier for your army. So you take a lieutenant in Phobos armor, and then you also take an Incursor squad. Why? Because they do 2 things, and they work really, really well together. So first, the lieutenant in Phobos armor is dishing out 2 abilities that I think are really important. The first one, of course, is tactical precision. So he's dishing out lethal hits, which is excellent. But the next one, shoot and fade. So basically what happens is right after the unit that he's with shoots, they get to move, take a normal move of d6 inches. And this is really important for the next unit that he's going to be paired with. In particular, I think that it works really well with Incursors. And so Incursors have this excellent little ability where when they hit a unit with their ranged weapons, they give the rest of your army +1 to hit against that unit. Really excellent ability, and one that your opponent will want to remove really fast. But the lieutenant is going to help them stick around, because you could move out through a wall, take some shots, and then use the lieutenant to move back out of line of sight or back into cover. And by getting your unit to do this, move, shoot, move back, move, shoot, move back, and perpetually dishing out +1 to hit to the rest of your army for whatever it is that you're shooting at, that unit is not about doing damage. That unit is about making the other things in your army do way more damage. Moving along to another perfectly Primaris combo, I am really thinking about taking a squad of Desolation Marines, because they have so much volume. Holy smokes, it's so much volume. So a squad of Desolation Marines, along with a Primaris Librarian, and that regular Primaris Librarian can actually do a lot of work for you. Not only is it equipped with, of course, smite, so psychic weapons, and it's got a pretty decent little close combat weapon, but it dishes out a 4-up invulnerable save to the unit because of Mental Fortress. And then on top of that, what he can do is he can take enhancements, because he's a character. And so what I would do with this squad of Desolation Marines along with this Primaris Librarian is, not only is the Primaris Librarian going to be dishing out that invulnerable save, but if you give him Bolter Discipline, the enhancement from the Gladius Task Force, then what's happening is they're getting sustained hits on 6s. And while in the Devastator Doctrine, they're getting critical hits on 5-ups. And with the amount of volume that Desolation Marines are churning out, you have got a kick-ass little combo there that does probably way more damage than it should. And I think that that's a great way for you to sit in an objective kind of near the backfield. You can hide it out of line of sight if you want to, and you can still get all of that volume that you need to do the damage that you need to do. And finally, I'm going to admit something. When I read through all of these data sheets, one disappointment of mine was the command squad. When I looked at the command squad, I thought to myself, oh, they made all of these firstborn characters a unit again. And this is something that used to be the case long ago, that this command squad was like one big squad. And then for 8th Ed, they kind of like cracked it all up, and 9th Ed, they cracked it all up, and you could put them in different units, and you can't do that anymore. So a regular apothecary, a regular standard bearer like the Ancient, and all those little tiny veterans, you can't have on their own any longer. And now that they're a squad, I'm wondering to myself, like, what are you ever going to use this thing for? And so I was thinking the other day, and I thought to myself, because of the options they can take, the fact that there is a company champion in there, so like a good close combat fighter, and then on top of that, the banner gives them an additional objective control, and then the apothecary is raising one from the dead every single turn. You actually have, if you kit it out right, a pretty banging close combat unit. And if you really want to take it to the nines, what you can do is you can give shields to the veterans, strap swords to them too, and then you've got one company champion and 2 little mini champions. And in that squad, if you toss something, you could toss a captain in there for just a whole lot of oomph if you really want to. But personally, I actually love the idea of putting a chaplain in there, just one of those old school firstborn chaplains, because the chaplain is giving them all +1 to wound in the fight phase, and all those power weapon attacks, all those power sword attacks, and the company champion's precision power sword or mastercraft power sword, I guess, attacks, you could push a lot of damage through. I think that unit could actually be really agitating as a unit that you need to try and lift, right? As an opponent, you look down at it and you think, okay, well, they're bringing back these veterans that all have 4-up invols. On top of that, they have multiple objective control. And if the apothecary stays around, the veterans die, and then the Ancient dies, and then the company champion dies, and it can all come back if I leave it alone, and just, it could be so agitating. And if you put it inside of like a Razorback, for example, so you could actually run, they had a box set. They actually had a box set of exactly what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, there it is. I found it. That's the box set. It's a chaplain, the command squad, and a Razorback, and you could actually run that, and it wouldn't be bad. I think we're going to try it, because doing the math on this, it actually hits fairly hard, and you could probably muscle quite a bit of stuff off an objective, get it all huddled and tangled in there with all these little mini characters, and it would be a real pain in the butt to try and shift. I've got a feeling deep down in my butt. So those are 3 little just 1-2 punch combos that I think characters are going to pair well together, synergize together. And even though it's not like a combo, like some kind of big technical combo, the synergies here are definitely very playable. And I think that's what 10th is really going to be about. It's not going to be about layering 10 or 12 different effects to make some kind of grand scheme. It's going to be about where can you pair things really well to make them both efficient and effective. And I think that these are 3 combos that do that. If you have any ideas for any combos, please toss them down into the comment section. I'm always down to talk Space Marines, so load it right in there. Please subscribe. We've got so much 10 stuff coming, so sub, like, share, get the message out there. Hyperspace Hobbies is alive and well and ready for 10th edition.